listeners from around the world through Spotify and the YouTubes. Welcome to another exciting episode of the GDA podcast. Tonight, joined with me through the power of the internet, it's a crazy thing, I know, is my co-host Ray. How are you doing, producer Ray?
Producer. That's what I am.
Is that better than cut rate Brendan Herrera?
Fuck off, but I don't really know. I think Brendan Herrera is pretty cool actually, but
I mean, I could call you out of shape Brendan Herrera.
That one hurts me more.
I don't know, what would you, or great value Brendan Herrera.
I like great value Brendan Herrera. I shop at Walmart a lot.
Mom, I want the AK guy at home. Also, joining us tonight is our other co-host, Andre, coming
My
from us.
microphone might be crappy.
It sounds good to me.
Sounds great, honestly.
It's like midnight. How do you feel?
Tired. I walked like 8 miles just in Target today.
The fuck?
Damn.
Why?
Because we do drive-up deliveries, and I was on drive-up delivery duty, so...
Fun.
Damn, got your steps in, huh?
Yep, all 16,000 of it.
Wow.
Shit.
Well, everybody, real quick, give a round of applause to Andre. Andre just got engaged this past week.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations,
holy
Andre.
shit. Yay.
Oh, I thought you were clapping for the steps for a second.
No, we're clapping because you got engaged.
Yes,
you
that
go.
did happen. I'm very happy.
Very happy indeed. We are all very happy for you, and our listeners are as well.
Yep.
And joining us tonight through the power of Grayskull, it is Shadow Lord.
Fucking shut the fuck up.
Welcome, Shadow Lord. You're back again after bugging snot out of me. I finally said, "Fine, come on."
Jesus. All right.
Fine, I'll just leave.
Disconnects.
You know, the way my Wi-Fi was last time, it might happen.
Did we offend them, or does this Wi-Fi just go bad?
Can't relate. Hashtag got fiber.
Stop it.
We have fiber in here. What are you talking about?
Stop flexing on the pores, Ray.
Yeah, damn. I wish all you guys can spend $100+ on internet.
Oh man. But yeah. So everybody's on tonight. How are you fine gentlemen doing this evening?
I mean, I'm doing pretty well. I got a kind of funny email from Rocky Mountain Power. I was like, we sensed a power outage in your area. I'm like, oh, great. Glad I'm not there.
Are you getting any of this hurricane stuff that's hitting the East Coast?
I'm getting like the remnants of it, like just a light rain.
Oh, that's good.
I like light rain.
I like heavy rain.
Well, you see, I am an ODST, so every time it rains, I pull out a saxophone.
Sad jazz
Oh my
noises.
god. Do you? I feel like that's totally you. You just put on your headphones, put on the fucking playlist from ODST, just like yeah.
Just
Have you
drive
driven
around
around
at
in the
night.
rain with the ODST soundtrack at night?
No.
I haven't, but I
It
need
is
to now.
another world experience.
Do you put your pit vipers on too?
No, at the time I didn't own pit vipers.
Oh, okay. I want that light distortion. Just yes. So what's on the agenda for today, Cole?
Well, I decided. Sadly, Wildcat Airsoft could not join us tonight. I don't know how that man maintains a personal and private life because he is the absolute worst at texting back. Cody, I love you. Anyways,
Loves you, Cody. I promise.
yeah, but he didn't get back to me, so he's not on tonight. So we have Shadow Lord on, and we are gonna talk a little bit about the event that we went to 2 weeks ago. Which was it? Mission Critical? Is that what it was called? Put on by Desert Ghost Airsoft.
Damn, what was that? What was that called?
I think it was Mission Critical. I didn't
think
go
so.
'cause I was here. But that sounds like the most recent event that he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one that
it was
had like the 3 different teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Critical.
Well,
I had a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was pretty fun.
so I'm not a huge fan. Like right off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of night games. Um,
I'm not either.
like when it comes to night games, it's like, all right, so it's either you have nods or you don't. And if that's the case, it's just like, yeah, you can bring a flashlight, but still you're kind of at a disadvantage if you don't have any sort of night vision at all. That being said, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this game. It wasn't bad. We got a little bit of daytime when we started. We were supposed to be starting earlier, but honestly, it was fine. I think it was very mood setting, and I thoroughly thought that the game was fun. It was a little not serious in a way, but very serious. I don't know. There was a lot of weird moments that we had found in that game, where it's just like, "Fuck, what's going on?" I don't know, but it's cool. That's my opinion on that.
Those
Like,
are
it
the
wa-
moments you need a GoPro.
Yeah, right.
Well, the problem is I have a GoPro, except being it's nighttime, it
You
don't
can't
work.
see it.
So
GoPro nod.
that's the reason why I don't really like night games. Is there's
Because
no
you can't get
footage.
footage.
It doesn't exist.
That is fair. Like that's one criticism I had, was that the game was supposed to start earlier in the day. But like, so you could have got footage if we would have started earlier.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get at least some, but
Yeah. But like, yeah, well, that's a downside. The event itself was actually not bad.
Okay, explain some of the gameplay because I really wanted to go to this event, but obviously I
Yeah.
couldn't. But explain
So-
the overall gist of it.
So there's two teams. There was MI6 and what were the other one? I believe it was
Black Arrow.
Yeah, Black Arrow. So like this kind of like Russian paramilitary, right, or something along.
Do you guys want me to pull up the actual event description?
Yeah,
and
you
read
should
it
do
off?
that.
All right, get talk amongst yourself while I pull it up.
All right, but yeah, I'll just continue a little bit. Basically, there's a scientist that both teams were trying to get a hold of, and this scientist was basically the whole reason why you're out here. Just find the scientist, and like Cole will explain. We'll explain like everything else when it comes to the story, but I'll start explaining some of the gameplay. Basically, the teams are divided up in whatever order that the team lead wanted. So it's just like, all right, there's 3 of you guys, or there's 2 teams, or it doesn't really matter. So it was just however they wanted to go about it, and they tried to keep it in this like almost a realistic styling. Like you're allowed to go pretty full force on the scientist. Like no joke, you could probably like punch him in the gut to send him to the ground.
yeah, I shot him in the leg with the M9. So
Oh my gosh.
I know for a fact that somebody like did a takedown on him.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like.
I could be wrong, but I think I remember hearing like somebody literally just like fucking put him to the ground.
yeah, that's pretty much
Was
what
this
happened.
guy like an insane scientist who just kept trying to run away, or what?
He was a nuclear physicist.
All right, guys, I got it.
Cool. All right, go for it.
So, this is the story in the operation. So, Dr. Ivan Volodymyr, he needs help. Former USSR nuclear physicist has escaped the clutches of a Ukrainian extremist organization known as Black Arrow. Dr. Let's just call him Dr. V, was formerly held captive in one of the Black Arrow's nuclear research facilities for over 5 years, in that time undergoing extreme measures of physical and psychological torture. Dr. V has reluctantly helped Black Arrow further the development of their nuclear abilities. Upon learning that the organization intended to use its recently obtained WMD against the civilian population, a device that could be smuggled into something as small as a suitcase, yet have the potential to kill tens of thousands. Then Dr. V escaped and took the WMD with him. Upon escaping, he was able to reach out to MI6 for help and managed to make it to the outskirts of the city before Black Arrow and teams picked up his trail. As Black Arrow scours the heavily forested AO, MI6 frantically scrambles up a team to reach Dr. V before the Black Arrow finds him first. So basically, it was a two-team either capture kill. One team was to capture him, the other one was to kill him. But I have to give Brandon credit because he said, "Do whatever it takes to
Put me down.
put me down," and
So
then
he was
execute
the-
him.
Yeah, he was playing the
the
mad
scientist?
Brandon
Oh.
himself.
Props to him for being beat up.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny, but basically both teams were trying to get him in order to get him to tell them where the bomb was. From there, I think he needed to arm it, or basically both teams needed information. At the end of the day, the mad scientist was a liability, so the idea was, all right, once you get the information, kill him.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, so both teams were assigned to kill him afterwards, or to extract with him, or basically whatever they wanted to do. So it was a pretty free flow game. But basically, one team was trying to secure the nuke, while one team was trying to just detonate it.
And this was a proper prop nuke. It was pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a cool little prop. I actually liked it. He made it so the only way that the light would turn on is if both switches are turned on at the same time.
Oh, that's actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
It looked pretty close to the COD search and destroy.
Yeah. It was pretty accurate. Either way, it was a really good low setup they had. So that was cool. The fact
And then
that
Brandon running through the forest just yelling and screaming was
oh my
pretty
god,
good too.
yeah, he was a fucking madman. So so MI6 had a direct comm with the guy. So it's
Yeah,
just
we
like,
stole his radio
yeah.
as well.
Oh my god, you guys stole the radio? That's
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah, basically we had a direct comm with him. So it was basically you can contact him. MI6 was the only one who was able to contact him, but he doesn't know who MI6 is. He just knows that MI6 are the people who are supposed to get him. So he's gonna be wary of anybody who approaches him. And I was thinking, like, if I ever find him, I'm gonna come up with a Russian accent. Be like, "Don't worry, comrade. I'm MI6." Like, what?
So I'm assuming you guys were the Russian team then.
No.
I was.
we were
They were on the other
MI6.
team.
Yeah, we were MI6. We were supposed to be on the Russian team, but we weren't. Unfortunately,
Tradles.
It was a very unfair match. It was like 17. It was like 17 to like 12 or some shit.
I mean, everybody wants to be, a Russian.
I always want to be a Ruski, man. Love that shit. We want to wear tracksuits, man. But that's all right. Either way, so we went over there. Overall, really fun. The team who ended up winning was actually Black Arrow. So the Russians ended up winning that fight only because they had a really good position.
Yeah, what happened to you guys? It seemed like you guys kind of pushed us, and then I think a bunch of you got killed or something, and then you just weren't there for the rest of the game.
A bunch of us got killed, and it was really difficult to get anywhere because you guys had a good position. There's really nothing more to that.
Yeah, me and Wildcat was literally pretty much side by side each other, just sitting there by a bus, and we'd shoot at anything that lit up.
That's hilarious. Dude, I have one story. It was the most sincere game feeling I've ever had to all gillied up from Modern Warfare 1. So me and Cole we were walking, right? We were walking down this trail with I think we were just slightly behind two others. No, you know what? No, we weren't. Remember when we shot that guy who was out?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
So there's a guy that was approaching us, and we're like, "Fuck, we don't know if this guy's out or not." But he's shining a flashlight everywhere. It's like, all right. So we're just like kind of holding an angle on him, and eventually he gets to a point where he gets close to us, and I just pop him right. He's just
I'm
like,
gonna
"I'm out."
backtrack you 1 second.
Sure.
So when we're heading up to that position, that we're about 10, or when we saw this guy walking up, we were there about 20 minutes before, just really slowly moving. And I'm on the ground because I hear people coming behind us because they're sending church parties, and I drop to the ground. And then
there is noise everywhere.
Yeah,
Like, it is dead silent, so you can hear everything.
but it's also dark, like really dark. And I'm just laying down, and I hear movement, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing. And I look around, and everybody's gone. They had left me because we were doing like a proper ranger march where it was like 10 yards between us. So I was in the back, and then I got separated from the group, and I'm just laying on the ground, and I hear a noise, and I look over, and I'm holding still, and somebody turns a light on me, and I'm like, oh, what was our word? Was it pineapple, or what was our word?
I don't remember.
Oh, thunder. It was like thunder.
And then
yeah.
somebody says like strike, or was it lightning?
Crash or something.
Crash.
Yeah, so I say thunder, and he's like, what? I'm like, thunder. And then he's like, thunder? I'm like, oh, you're not on my team.
Pop.
And I point to my back. I'm like, you got me just right here. And then he shoots me in the ass. I'm like, really, bro? In the ass?
That was like, at that
I mean,
moment,
you probably could have shot him.
Nah, I was in the wrong position.
Yeah.
I was in a position where it was like, it's game over.
Here's the thing, I was right next to him the whole time on the other side of the trail. So I'm like, oh fuck. So I slowly just get down on the ground, right, as he's walking away, as Cole's making his way back, and I'm laying on the ground, and I shit you not, I'm on the ground for like 10 minutes as these fuckers are all around me, and they get into a firefight. I'm just like, I have no position. I have no good position. If I fire, they're all gonna know I'm here. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna do anything. So I'm clearly in their lines, right? Like, they look to the left, they'll see me. So I'm just on the ground
Shoot,
this
dude.
whole time, and I see like 4 shadows like walk out of the woods and just start walking down the trail, and they're talking. They're like, all right, cool, we got them. All right, we need, I don't remember exactly what they said, but like, we need to get to our HQ site. So they're walking towards me. They're walking fucking towards me, and then there's 2 shadows on the other side of the trail from further, and these guys stop. They see him. They're like 5 feet away from me. And they stop and see these shadows, and they fucking fire at them. And luckily, those were 2 guys. Those were two guys on my team, so they're actual kills. So that was a good distraction. So I'm like, okay. So they walk past me a little bit further, and I get my rifle ready, and I go to fire, and it doesn't fucking feed.
Oh.
I'm like, fuck. So I just like, but I dry fire, right? I'm like, and I'm just fucking crouching as low, like, I'm not even crouching, I'm literally laying on the ground, like, covering the barrel of my gun, and just kind of just waiting, and I'm trying to figure out the fucking switch, because for some reason my Crytek's a little off, so I have to like fumble with the auto switch every once in a big while, and this is what happened, like, where it'll dry fire, and then my selector switch will lock up. So I have to switch to full auto, fire it in full auto, and then I can switch it back. But either way, I switch it to full auto just in case. And another group from behind them comes, and it's their team. So I'm just like, fuck, if I shoot, there's gonna be like at least 3 guys all shooting at this little bush that I'm next to. So I just bide my time and wait. And eventually it gets to a point where it's just like, I'm completely surrounded. There's a good chunk of their team there. So I'm like, so another group of people stop in front of me, and they're talking like, "Hey, do you know where this is? Blah blah blah, right?" And I just stand up, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Wait, how long are you there for?" I'm like, "I don't know, like 10 minutes." And they're like, "Are you out?" I'm like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I was gonna try to take everybody out here. There's too many people. There's way too many to attempt to even try." Like, and they're
You're like, I surrender.
I'm just like, I kind of just surrender. I'm just like, yeah, to be fair, I was going to shoot you. Then my gun locked up. So, and they're like, "Oh, shit, dude, I'm sorry." I'm like, "It's fine. I'll go now." So I start walking.
Is this before or after we started? I was revived and we were walking down that fire road.
This was because you weren't revived. It was when you were. It was right after you were shot, like when you were doing that whole thing with that guy, and like it was then. It was right after that.
Okay, so like before I started crawling to get tagged.
Yeah. So.
Which was allowed. Just so everybody knows that.
It was. It was a really weird moment. I'm just like, if my gun would have fired, I could have at least got like 2 or 3 kills before I died. And it would have been super worth it. But I'm just like, my gun is fucking acting up right now. And there's so many people surrounding me, there's not even a point. So, it was a little sad, but it was the closest I'll ever get to all gillied up. And it was fucking cool. So it wasn't a bad experience. That was awesome. Did you have any interesting experience, Shadow Lord?
For the most part, for most of the game, we kind of was just sitting there waiting for you guys to do something.
Yeah. Our
But
team was very slow.
I did watch Brandon get his butt kicked and punched to the ground, though.
That was pretty funny. I'm sure that was great.
I tried to make it easy on him by hitting him with the foam sledgehammer, but no, he wouldn't react. He wanted to actually get hit, so I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, no,
So-
he actively told us, he's like, "Just beat the shit out of me."
Yeah, so I just pulled out the Beretta and I just shot him in the leg. I'm like, if you're not gonna react, you're gonna react to this one then. I'm like, all right, dude.
I feel like war crimes were committed.
Yeah. A little bit.
The primary use of this gameplay was to violate the Geneva Convention.
Well, you see, in the dark arts of interrogation with the the intelligence agencies, nothing's off limits.
Good. Nothing should be off limits. I want to see somebody get an alligator strapped to their leg. And just
What?
What?
The heck, dude?
No? We're not having... Okay. All right. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Jeez.
Next topic. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, I think, personally, I think that this is one of the better games that we had that Brandon's put on in a while. Maybe
I just wish it
because-
wasn't nighttime, man.
Honestly, for me, I enjoyed the night aspect because I haven't been to a proper night game in a long time. And night games like that where it's not, I think there's maybe 30 of us. But having a smaller force in a smaller area during a night event reminds me of the times when I was a kid and we would go out airsofting out in the wash and it was just us noobs versus the DM117 guys. But it felt like that, and it was almost like a classic, like that. Yeah, this is what airsofting is. And it was pretty fun though. I do have a gear review for this episode too. But yeah, I had a good time with it. I think the thing was that we had a good briefing before we got started. Brandon laid all the rules out, and the amount of people there was small enough that everybody understood what was going on. And so I just think it went really well in that sense. So I don't know. I had fun, unlike the last ones where I had fun and then I just got really frustrated.
Yeah, it seems like he did a lot better, or at least it's sounding like he did a lot better with the communication aspect, which is, I think it was our main complaint about the Vietnam game was the communication. Um, I think I haven't done a night game ever because my vision is just piss poor at night, and so I'm just like, well, I can't see at night. I'm not gonna be any good shooting. But with like 15 people per team or roundabout, I feel like that'd still be pretty dang fun. Not massive, but still a decent size.
Yeah, it was. It was a good time. It really was. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that night game. Because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of night games. This one was good.
Shadow Lord, what do you think?
I think it was pretty decent. It didn't have a lot of gunfighting because our group was pretty tight in there behind cover and everything, though.
Yeah.
We didn't leave you guys very much room to do much in that situation.
Certainly not. Yeah. Like I said, they had really good positioning basically the whole game. We were in a bad spot more or less the whole time. Our team was super slow. And that's not at fault to anybody. It was just how it worked out, you know? Like, it's just how it worked out. Well, Cole, what's the next topic we got here?
Well, I kind of have a little bit of a gear review, I guess. We haven't done a review on anything in a while.
Oh, we haven't, huh? Yeah.
I got to update to some of my stuff, too.
All right, you go first.
I just started 3D printing some throwing knives for the Riot Shield class.
Oh, sick, dude.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun. I figured instead of buying, like, airsoft throwing knives, because I'm probably going to lose them, I just would 3D print them, so that's what I did.
That sounds sick, dude. Honestly.
Yeah,
that
I'll
sounds
have
really
to
cool.
get good at actually throwing them, though.
I'm sure it won't be too bad.
What did you just send me, Andre?
I don't know. I was thinking about tracksuits, and I was like, what would be freaking funny? Like, in a Hayago tracksuit, and then I found shoes.
I like shoes. Wait, Ahiago shoes?
He found out Hayago
And check your Facebook. I sent you all the link.
I'll check it on bed, Lord.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
God, can we have one fucking episode that doesn't degenerate into...
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, you're right. You're right. Why would we ever want to be any sort of reputable?
Because that's boring.
Yeah.
You're right, it is really boring. God. You know, I just try to be a good host. And this is the kind of shit I get.
You're
Yeah, tell
welcome.
me about it.
I love you.
Anywho.
Any
Alright.
weasel, yes.
Keep going, Shadow Lord.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 3D printing throwing knives.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick,
What
dude.
I mean, what type of knife? Just like a typical combat knife, or are you going like Naruto kunai knife?
It's like a combat-ish Call of Duty kind of looking throwing knife.
Okay.
Dude, do it.
I was going for kind of a Call of Duty style throwing knife.
It's gonna be
Okay,
sick.
so not degenerate weeb. Got it.
Nope.
Nope, he's
Yep,
not
you
a
got
weeb,
it.
man.
He ain't about that life.
Yeah, he's not about that life. It's
No.
probably a good thing.
Slightly offended, you know?
Only slightly offended. Not that much, though.
Okay, good.
Alright, so my review is basically of Adidas has this line called Terex, Terrex, not Ram TRX, but Adidas Terex. And so at the bike shop I work at, we had some of their Terex line trail running shoes. And so I ended up buying them for work, but they almost looked like tactical Adidas shoes. And so I took them out to our event that we had 2 weeks ago to give them a good whirl. And so they are basically, they're the nicest shoes I've ever owned. So they've got a Gore-Tex sole, or they're made out of Gore-Tex, so they're like mostly waterproof. And then besides having it basically almost waterproof, they have I'm trying to remember what the sole is called. Ortholite sole. And then like speed laces, you just yank them and they get tight. And then they've got a really cool Continental tires sole, or not sole, like rubber outsole. That's what it's called. And so running around in those for an hour, my feet did not get wet at all, and it had rained right before we showed up to go airsofting. I didn't slip once. It was pretty slippery out there, wasn't it, guys?
It was.
Yeah, my gun, my bullpup is got like really muddy too.
Ooh.
Cause it's not like your typical gun where it's like flush and smooth. It's got like a texture to it, so the mud just sticks to it.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I mean they worked great. So I've been using them at work too, and running around in the construction sites and stuff with these shoes, and they've worked really well. So I've been looking at them, and they also have a high top that looks almost like a boot in the Terex line.
Okay.
The same sole and everything. So I might invest in some of those down the road and see how those work out for airsofting, because they're like 10 times more comfortable than any combat boots. And I don't know. They
Hey, if they're walking for you, man.
Yeah. But dude, these things are expensive.
They are
like,
expensive.
You know,
Man,
they're basic trail running shoes. You know, the Terex ones are like $80, but if you're going for like hiking shoes, 180, 225, 250.
Yeah, but they're made out of the same stuff that like the really high-end combat boots are made out of, like the Gore-Tex stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
But they're I feel like they're more sporty. Like I'm looking at these Terex Skychaser 2 mids hiking shoes, so they got that same Continental outsole and then the Gore-Tex.
I mean, they're definitely more sporty.
Do you need a Gore-Tex sponsor now?
No, but it's just good stuff. Because my feet did not get cold or wet at that event, so I'm a believer now.
I feel like, like talking a whole lot about Gore-Tex is like a dad thing. I was like, check out my Gore-Tex gloves.
Hey, check out my Gore-Tex. Hey, check them out. Check it out, kids. All right, well, that's my review. So I would recommend them to all of our listeners, that if they're looking for something a little bit different than combat boots to run around in, something a little more comfortable, to look into that line. And and you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap things up tonight?
Anybody got any new guns or anything that they like?
I haven't got anything new.
Nope.
No.
No?
I'm on a buying freeze, mostly because I'm out of state.
Seems like most of us is kind of on a freeze right now.
Yeah.
It's a sad time. But, well, I thank you guys for coming on tonight. I know it's late, so, thanks for coming on. Andre, I'm sorry. This episode went by fast, didn't it?
Guys,
Yeah, I feel like it
I
did
hate to
for
extend
sure.
the episode, but I just found a wacky thing.
And that is...
I found a conversion kit for a Webley or Weebly revolver to get it to be belt fed.
Wait,
What?
A belt fed revolver conversion kit.
How's that even possible?
Isn't that a Gatling gun?
No, because it's still single action, or unless if this thing is also double action. But it's like the person replaced the cylinder with, I guess, some sort of open gear system, so you just feed it in a belt, and I'm just like, what?
Huh.
That,
Okay, that's an interesting item.
Are you on Airsoft Circle Jerk again?
that sounds really awesome.
I know. I want to know which airsoft revolver this is, because I feel like there's not a whole lot of Weebly, however you pronounce it,
I
revolvers
don't think I've
around.
ever seen one.
but I need to figure out which one it is.
It sounds cool to me.
It sounds
Yeah.
perfect. What I need.
Shut up and take my money.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm willing.
Nice. Alrighty, well, thank you guys all for coming on tonight. Thank you, Shadow Lord. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Ray. And thank you, listeners, for listening to us. If you want to help us out, please, like this episode on YouTube, share it with your friends, follow us on Instagram at Going Dark Airsoft, follow us on Facebook at Going Dark Airsoft, follow us on TikTok.
Oh no.
Jaden runs the TikTok. I don't touch it. Ray doesn't touch it. But we do have a TikTok, in fact.
It's all Jaden.
It has more followers and more views than any other social media platform we have. So go check it out, everybody.
What the?
Yeah, I know.
How?
Because TikTok.
Because TikTok. But yeah, thank you to Spooky Stickers. Thank you to Fastback Moto. Thank you to Sky RC and Hobbies. Thank you to all of our listeners, and yeah. Call your hits!
Yeah, just do it.
No. Riot sealed. No.
Call him! You can't block with the shield, you can't.
No, you can block with the shield. You can't block with your gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know exactly.
Stop
what I'm
cock
talking
blocking my BBs.
This is 7.62, it should go right through it.
to. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.